Hello, Toastmasters. In this video session, I will share with you the new member experience survey. This will be nice and short. And here it is. It's a two-page document. This is something you will give to your members after they've been in the club for a month, or at least two meetings. Perhaps one meeting if your club only meets once a month, in which case it's probably best to do this every few months. Some clubs meet once a week. Some clubs meet twice a month. It depends. It's ultimately up to you how often you want to use this survey for new members. You'll want them to answer honestly, of course. And these questions are for the new member, and they can provide any feedback they want. I was greeted in a warm and friendly manner. I was asked to sign the guest book, and a guest book is definitely something to have at every club meeting. And a name tag, like one of those sticky name tags where you can write your name on a tag using a Sharpie or a marker. I was introduced to the club president and other members of the club. Too often, this doesn't happen, actually. I've been to clubs where there's not really been many introductions, but some have offered introductions to everybody who was in attendance, the latter of which I certainly would prefer. It makes me feel like I belong there. It makes me feel more included. A member engaged with me during my first meeting and answered all questions I had. A new member may not necessarily bring questions to the meeting, but merely to observe. They may not be talkative at all. They're very shy, almost silent, in fact. And that's okay. If they don't speak up immediately, you can continually encourage them as many times as they come to the club. That goes for guests and new members. Just because someone joined a club recently, it doesn't mean that they won't walk away. I understand there's a Toastmasters promise, of course, that there's a commitment when you become a member, but not everybody lives up to it. And along those lines, people only get their first couple of Pathways awards or do one path and then they're done with Toastmasters altogether. But a resource like this, presented at the right time and in an encouraging manner, you can say, this is a new member experience survey. This is for us to help you to feel acclimated to the club, to help you enjoy your Toastmasters experience, to help you get the most out of what we do here. I was invited to join the club on the day I visited. That should happen every time, even if it's the very first time someone's ever been to a Toastmasters meeting. Don't be afraid to ask that. After each meeting as a guest, I was contacted regarding my experience and invited to return. That's a given. You could even make a guest email and customize it. And it should definitely be tailored to the individual. Don't just send out a blast that has the same content every time. It's monotonous, and eventually people are going to know, oh, okay, he's just doing this for the sake of it. You have to demonstrate care for that new member. After I joined, a club officer provided a pathways orientation and helped me choose my path. Very important. You'll want to go on Toastmasters.org and visit the pathways section and show them the different parts. Take that survey. Talk about the fee. There's a $20 fee that you pay once to join Pathways, and I believe you pay $20 for every subsequent path that you begin as well. If a member has not just one path, but even two or three paths in mind, that would also foster commitment. They would express interest in doing more after they finish that first path so that they stay with the club longer, so that they contribute more education awards, so that experienced members can have the opportunity to mentor those new members and coach them. And of course, building future leaders. If someone were to leave the club, an experienced member that you've relied on so much, then how would you replace them, right? Succession is something that this can reinforce. The vice president of education helped me assess my goals and needs. This can be a bit tricky. There are documents I've talked about in previous videos, like the new member survey, and it's good to get to know what a member's goals are exactly, and don't just put it in the context of pathways. Ask them in a broader sense. What do you see yourself doing here or here or here in the next year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years? And that will help you to tailor the pathways program to their goals rather than the other way around. A plan was developed to help me achieve my goals. Even if a member doesn't get an official mentor, this step is still very important. At least one dedicated member should help out this new member to keep track of, set, and achieve goals and evaluate progress as they go along. I was assigned a mentor and they've been in regular contact. I argue that every club should have a mentor program officially, but the relationship can start and progress organically. And that is what promotes regular contact, real progress, and things to celebrate. A natural relationship that's mutually beneficial and highly effective for all club purposes and all individual purposes. I understand the commitments I make to Toastmasters International when joining. I just mentioned this. There's a Toastmasters promise. Make sure the new member understands that. It's readily available on toastmasters.org. And these are open-ended questions here. Why did you decide to join Toastmasters? That could be for any reason. But always be sure to ask that. And not just once, but every so often. Because when a member feels kind of burnt out or lax or bored with the club, going back to the why can rejuvenate that sense of purpose and dedication. How did you hear about our club? That's very important for Vice President of Public Relations to know. It can also reveal what is lacking and what is excelling about your club website and any additional comments. And that's the end of that resource. That's all I have for this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next. Take care.